She's a director of the Canadian Women in Communications and the CEO of the equity organization Producers Without Borders, and has won many awards, including the International Rocky Award, African Canadian Excellence in Media Award, and is the first person to win Gemini's Canada Award twice. We brought her, yay! We brought her out here because she has started a very unique and necessary seminar, a newly developed seminar that is the first time it's been taught. Many people went to the workshop yesterday. It's the first time it's been taught outside of Toronto. On creating TV for a diverse audience by hiring and managing a diverse cast, crews, and creative teams. It's a really important subject, and I'm really happy that Karen King is here with us. Please welcome Karen King.
Thank you, Monica, and really thank you and Marcy for this fantastic event. It really has been wonderful, and the weather has been fantastic, and it's been great to be back in my hometown of Vancouver. So the first thing I want to tell you about myself is that I am not black. And I know this because people have been telling me all of my life that I am not black. And they were trying to compliment me, actually, and what I was actually quite stunned by it when it first started to happen. But I soon came to realize that the reason that they would say that was because the images and the people that they knew who were black came from television and the media. And I wasn't a sassy black woman, and I wasn't a hooker, and so I didn't fall into a lot of those stereotypes that were in evidence when I was first growing. So the thing that we all need to take away from all that is that we are an incredibly powerful medium, and that medium has the ability to really affect the culture and the society in which we live. I heard a fascinating story the other day on CBC where they were talking about Native culture, and how the Aboriginal men wear the bandanas around their heads as a sign of their warrior culture. And in fact, there's no Aboriginal culture that ever wore bandanas, and it was a Hollywood hairdresser who was trying to hold the wigs off so the horses could, the wigs wouldn't fall off while these Italian guys were riding the horses in these cowboy Indian movies. And now we have Indian warriors who are using this as a symbol of how, powerful they are in the culture. So the only way you can really be careful is to make sure that all of us, as in the people that we're portraying, are part of the picture, so that we don't make those mistakes and don't continue to portray each other in ways that really don't make any sense. So I want you to do diversity better than we've been doing it in the past. Right now, we're at a place that we've never been before. In the major markets in our country, 50% of our populations are reflecting diversity. Our industry isn't, okay? So one of the things that we've been doing incredibly well in diversity over the last 20 years has been colorblind casting. And that's essentially to take a part, if it isn't going to do any damage to the show, they're not marrying anybody, they don't have any love interests, and they're not going to screw things up, we can make those a person of color. What I'm asking you to do now is to take diversity to the next level. And that is, think about how it will actually enhance your program. But now I'm asking you to think about it differently. Your audience has changed. In order to bring that audience to your shows, you need to reflect them differently. You need to start thinking about what entertains this segment of the population. What we have come to do over the years is sort of just take it for granted that we're not going to be completely entertained. We're going to get half our money's worth. So for you guys who are entertainers, the opportunity is to fill that void. You can make us fully entertained instead of undertained, as I like to call it. But none of you, and I can tell you this from experience, can do this by yourselves, okay? Because our industry is this incredible web of symbiotic relationships where if the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing, it's likely to cut it off. So if you're trying very hard over here to accomplish some goal in diversity and you finally get somebody in the door, chances are somebody else is going to boot them out the door before you even know that they were gone. The day of the Unicultural show, I was the executive on The Kink in My Hair, which is the show set in the West Indian community, hair salon, all black cast, very diverse black cast, Africans, West Indians of all natures, Canadians, all of that. But those days of The Kink in My Hair and Little Mosque on the Prairie those are short-lived. I can't imagine every broadcaster doing the Asian show, the Aboriginal show. That's not likely to happen. What we are seeing happening is, yes, there are networks that are specializing in those kinds of programs, so they will always be there. But for the rest of the world who is watching the bigger stations and the bigger web and all of the things that we are doing we're trying to get as many people to watch as we possibly can, we need to think about how we can make each and every one of our shows more inclusive. And I'm not just talking about in front of the camera. I'm also talking about behind the camera. So take stock yourselves. What do your shows look like? Who are your crews? Who are you working with? And you say to yourself, well, I'm not doing too badly. I've got lots of people working with me of all different origins. The question that I'm asking you to ask of them now is, how can you help me do diversity better? Because right now, chances are you just hired them to be your grip, and that's all they're going to do. Unless you empower your team, and unless you say to them right off the top, here are the reasons why we want to make sure this show is doing diversity better, doing it right. We need your help. How can you help us? We want to put together a diverse crew. We want to make sure our stories are better. We want people in the writing room. We want to have the right cast. We don't want to cast Chinese people for Korean roles, and we want to do as much as we can to get it right. How can you help us? Because if you just say, yeah, we want to do all this, are you in? They'll say, sure, I need a job. Find out how they can help you, and if they haven't got the answers you want, then find somebody who does. If you remember the night of the election results, and we were flashing back and forth to the McCain camp and then to the Obama camp, and what she said is, today, our audience are the Obama supporters. Whether you're in LA, or Chicago, or Miami, or New York, or Vancouver, or Toronto, or Montreal, that is our audience. So really, that's where your clients are. That's where the business is. That's where the money is going to be. So if you want a piece of this market, this is what you need to be doing. Our goal at Productions Without Borders is really to support diversity in all sectors. So that means that no matter what your job is, whether you are a writer or an agent or a producer or a director, there is a role that you have to play in this. And we've been able to identify a number of checkpoints along the way where diversity happens or it doesn't. And at least you need to be aware of those moments. Rather, right now what happens is we just blow over those moments because production is a locomotive. And if we have blown past it, there's no going back. So we're trying to make sure people have a chance to kind of at least think about things as they move forward. The key is to engage these communities. And we're talking about engaging them, yes, as audiences, but also as performers and as suppliers and as clients, and in every way we possibly can. We can certainly provide presentations on set to help each department understand their role. Production managers need to understand the hiring process is different. The whole idea of getting these grips and gaffers to recognize, what do we have to do with it? Some people say, a wide shot's a wide shot. What difference does it make what color the cinematographer is? Well, I have shows where I can't get a cinematographer to light people of color properly. Wardrobe people can't dress them properly. The hair and makeup people can't do that properly. So there's a lot of skills that we need to recognize are part and parcel of this change and this transformation that our industry is going through that we need to be aware of. And we need to be aware of them early on so we can budget for them and not say, well, we didn't think about braiding her hair, and that's going to cost $1,200, so we're not going to braid her hair. And so the poor woman, the only actress on the set, doesn't get her hair done every day. So there are things that we are doing that we need to be aware of and we need to change. And we can certainly do that all together. When I speak to organizations or to university and college students or events like this, I often have a PowerPoint where I show an image of myself in my grade 7 class in North Delta, and I give them about 10 seconds to find me. And of course, I'm the only one there. And then I show a shot of my son in his grade 7 class. And in that shot, there are 2 white people, 3 including the teacher, and the rest of the 30 kids are children of all different colors. That is the world we're living in. Please be ready for it.